Okay, good morning guys. This is Megan. I'm making this morning a bunch of Christmas ornaments. They're these glitter ornaments with the vinyl decals on them for our friend doing a series of Harry Potter ones, and I've been doing these glitter ornaments for about 3 years and decided, I know there's a bunch of videos out there, but maybe something I do can help somebody with theirs this season. So quickly, I'm going to walk through what I do to make these glitter ornaments. First, materials that you're going to need. Have found that M&M, which is, for lack of a better term, M&M shaped plastic ornaments are the best. One, if you're trying to do round, trying to lay a decal on it, they get warped and it's much more difficult. Easier to put stuff on an M&M. I get these 6-pack of M&M style ornaments from Michaels, and you wait till they go 50% off and then you can get a pack of 6. So, and they're plastic, which is great because when you drop them they won't break. So you'll need ornaments, and then you'll need an adhesive for the glitter. The best around that I have found, I've been doing these like I said for 3 years, is Miniwix polycrylic. Get this stuff at Home Depot. I think this jar cost me about 15, maybe 18, and I've had it for over 2 years and I still have about half a jar left. So it goes a long way. You want the clear gloss, that way it doesn't dry yellow or anything like that. To help me in putting it in ornaments, I just get one of these bottles from the dollar store. I labeled it and then I just put it in here, and that way I can put it in my ornaments. And then you just need glitter. I find I prefer the fine glitter. So this is just from Michael's extra fine glitter. But you can get any kind you want. I've even gotten like the cheap little packets. I think you can get some of these at the dollar store. But I prefer fine. They seem to settle and there's better coverage. So the other piece of equipment that I use is a paper cup. I have found this is great. You can see I've actually been using these ones for 2 years. There's layers upon layers of stuff in here. Because when you put the ornament in, it will bend to hold it in different directions. If I want to tilt it this way to drain better or that way to drain better, your paper cup is more forgiving and allows you to do that. Okay, first step, you have to apply the glue. I take the tops off and I put glue in, and all of this is by eyeball. You want enough polycrylic in there to coat completely the entire inside. So I pour in and then I just start to roll. And fortunately, because of the composition of this, you can see it coat. You can see the difference between parts that are coated and parts that aren't. Look for bubbles. And then you just roll and roll and roll until you get near the end. And I used to, when I first started, try to save every little bit to spread it. But honest to Pete, it ain't worth the headache. So if you calculate it about right, you're not wasting a whole lot. But what you do have to do, look that this part doesn't have polycrylic on it. You want to make sure and get polycrylic on the stem too, or your glitter won't attach up here and then it just looks awkward. So as I'm pouring the excess out, I actually start to rotate so that I get coverage on, and you can start to see the coverage on here. I get coverage throughout the whole stem. So I'm rotating as I'm pouring out. There's parts that didn't get covered. You can kind of see that bubble right there. So I'm going to make sure and rotate around and help all of it drip and cover the entire area. And there's the coverage. It's getting covered, all of it, until there's nothing left. Okay. So everything's covered now with polycrylic. So I'm going to actually, you have to leave it inside upside down so that it can drain. If you don't and you immediately put glitter, if you'll kind of notice, as soon as I turn it up, there starts to get drip marks. You can kind of see around here. The polycrylic starts to drip back in. And if you apply glitter now, then your glitter will start to drool and drip back into the ornament, and it looks atrocious. So you turn it upside down with the opening downwards, and it drips out the excess and coats it. And you want it to become kind of dry and actually turn to a tacky state instead of a liquid state. So let me just do this one, another one real quick. I'm probably putting in almost a tablespoon if you're a baker. Yeah, it looks like maybe more like 2 teaspoons. So roll it really quick. And I'm gonna roll to the end, and this, I got too much in it. My bad, I have to pay attention. Just keep rolling until the stem is covered. Tip it out and leave it upside down. And it takes about 2 to 3 minutes depending on if you live in a dry area, a wet area. But here in Arizona, it takes 2 to 3 minutes for that to drip out and become tacky. So I'll come back when it's ready and put glitter in it. Okay, so they're kind of tacky now. So before you put the glue in, there's a little bit of drippage you kind of see around the edge. So I usually just take a paper towel, dot and twist, because I don't want drips on the outside of this. So clean up just the base. But it looks pretty good because when you tip it, I don't see any like drips from the inside that drip down. So it's nice and tacky. So it's ready for the glitter. So I like these glitters because they have a pour spout, which makes a difference. So I'm just going to pour in a bunch of gold glitter. And then I'm going to do the same type of rolling that I did for the polycrylic. And I just roll and roll and roll towards the neck. And you can kind of save the glitter. But I do roll it over the mouth, over a cup. Again, you're going to do kind of the same thing where as you roll near the end, you're going to tap to try to cover and coat the neck. Making sure I don't have any empty spots, and it looks pretty good to me. I think you can kind of see inside. There's just a tiny bit of extra. So I'm going to just shake that around, make sure everything gets coated. And there's probably not even enough extra worth saving. So then I leave it upside down to dry. You don't have to let it fully dry, but dry until I'm ready to put the decals on it. So there's that one. Let's see if the other one is ready. Let me clean the mouth. And I'm looking up here because this is really where mostly it starts to drip, and you can kind of see there's a drip forming right there. You can kind of, I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera, but I can kind of see it. It's there. It's warping the edge. Yeah, you can kind of see the bubble right there. So that means it's not quite dry because look, it's already getting worse and it's starting to drip down the side. There it is. So I'm actually going to turn this back upside down and let it dry for a little bit longer before I add the gold. Okay, so I just did, this one is actually a different one. I'm doing a bunch of them. This is the copper one, and I think there's no drip marks on it, so it's ready. Just going to add real quick the copper and roll all the way through. There's going to be a bit of excess on this one. So I'm rolling to make sure and get near the mouth. So you can see the mouth needs to be covered. Rolling and rolling. And I'm going to have a bit of extra. So what I do, this is super easy. Piece of scrap paper. I shake it and oh, there's a blank spot. Let's see if I've got enough in there to cover. Oh, almost lost it. And I think there's enough to cover that blank spot in there. Yeah. Okay, so that one's good. I'm going to leave it in this cup. See, this is my second least favorite kind of cups because they go down too far. But I'll let that dry for a little bit and then feed this glitter back into the... I've never had a problem with it clumping or anything after I've taken it out of there, so yeah. And then I will get ready with the decal. Okay, so I've got my vinyl right now being sent from my laptop to be cut out on my silhouette. As soon as that's done, I will pull the decals and show you how I apply it. Okay, we're back. Got them cut and peeled. Here's the 2 decals. I'm going to put 1 HP on the back and then the always quote, or 1 on the front, 1 on the back, either way. So I've got the decals and I'm just going to use transfer tape and put them on. Before I put anything on though, I do need to prep the surface. One, because it may or may not have polycrylic on it. And it may or may not have other finger oils. So I just use rubbing alcohol. This little handy dandy nail polish dispenser works great for storing it, and I just have a cloth. So I clean off the surfaces with rubbing alcohol to prep them. Give them a sec to dry. And then this, my other favorite tool, this is actually a heating pad. And I think my mother-in-law may have made it for me. But it has corn in it. And this is the ideal thing for me. I'm trying to get this dry. The ideal thing for me for holding ornaments still, so that I can apply stuff to them. So you just honestly can put them at whatever angle you want, nestle them in there, and they don't move around. So I'm using, this is the transfer tape I use. It's called AT65. I love this stuff. It lasts, like, I've had this roll going on almost 3 years now, because you can reuse it. Once you peel off a piece, I like store all of my, I don't know if you can kind of see, I just tack it to my machine or something else, and I just reuse the pieces over and over again. But I did, for the sake of this video, cut myself a new square. So I'm just picking up my decal now with the transfer tape. I'm getting my scraper. Sorry, you can hear it. It's not on the screen. Scraping and rubbing my decal. Let's see if it's going to cooperate and peel quickly and easily for me. Almost. Okay. So there's my decal. And I know that there's people out there who worry and fret and measure. I'm more of an eyeball person. So I am going to eyeball it. One thing to note, this is a curved surface. So trying to apply a flat decal to a curved surface does pose some physics problems. So what I have learned is you touch it down in one light spot, and then you're going to actually work it with your finger over the curves. So I start here, and I'm just going to work it down and around the curves. Because it's vinyl, and because this is like softer tape, I don't know, you can actually kind of bend and stretch it a little bit so that it does lay down flatter and better. Because if you just tack it down all at once, you're going to get these weird bubbles. So some of it, this decal is actually going to move. Can you see it's kind of buckling a little bit, so that in order to lay down, the spacing is going to change just a little bit. But I'm okay with that because I'd rather have it lay flat than to have big bubbles in it. So it moves around. I don't care the transfer tape bubbles, because that's going to be peeled off. I just want to make sure my decal is laying flat onto the ornament. So it may take some finessing on my part, but I do the finessing while the transfer tape is still attached. Okay, I think my black is all down. So then that means I can peel off my transfer tape, and Harry Potter is attached. And it's all flat, okay? Now, we just have to do always. So then I can take the same piece of transfer tape and go pick up the vinyl. You know what makes great scrapers? You save all of those cheesy hotel keys or whatever. Those things make great scrapers. Just so you know. Okay, so let's take this one off. Hopefully it comes off nice and smooth. Alrighty. Alright, same idea. When you lay it down, you do it in one spot and then smooth out and down. So that it will curve around the ornament. Ah, I pulled up too fast. Do some more pressing. There you go. Okay, always. I will let it dry a little bit more before I put the cap back on, because these ears that are on this, if this is still kind of soft on the inside, the ears will actually crack down and push off the gold glitter. So I've had like the glitter chip off or wipe off because I've put these in too soon. So I'll set this aside, finish up all the other ones, and then I will touch the tops. If you're so inclined, and I have done this before, you can just, because this is silver and this is gold, I've spray painted. the tops of these if you want to match, if that's of concern. But otherwise, that's how you put them all together. And then once this dries, I'll put that in, and I will attach just a simple gold ribbon. That's this one. And then it'll be all done. That's how I did it. All right, hope you guys have fun. Hope this helps. Thanks. Bye.